Good night, everyone. So, I wanted to see what would happen if I put sex experiment as the title, if that would change the number of viewers. So, let's see what happens now as I start. All right. I think the name was showing. So let's just see what happens and then we can have a real discussion. So I'll wait for, let's say, 15 seconds again and then I will reveal the rest of it. So basically, we have a topic and well, actually a title, but what I'm trying to do, the first day, which was 2 days ago, we had a few people communicating, and now yesterday was a bit slow. So I thought I would try and see, based on the name of the topic, what the audience would look like. And I'm seeing already that there is a difference. So the sex experiment is working. Meaning, and this goes to getting information from different sources and appealing to people to get information out, it really does show that the topic does attract more people depending on what the topic is or what the content of it is. And certainly the fact that more people are viewing because it says sex experiment suggests that branding is important. How we put out something it does affect what happens. And it's curious. It's curious to say that we have biases and we have things that really determine what our interests are. So that this really does go towards what appeals to us, even in terms of the content on Facebook. Things that are shared are vulgar, sometimes inappropriate, and so forth. And that is what we look at more. That's what gets more views. That's what gets more likes. Those kinds of things are what we thrive on. Those things are what get likes. So that's what we share more, and that's what we think. So I wanted to see, based on that, what amount of viewership this would get because of the title. So sex is something that appeals to a lot of people. Violence, things like that. And obviously, based on that, we have viewership right now. And we really need to check in terms of what we share, what we speak of, what we do with the power that we have in terms of sharing information and sharing correct information. I want to drop a point in there about what people share on Facebook or anywhere else, verifying the sources first before you actually share information. And why is it that talking about sex, I mean sex is good, but why is it talking about sex drives up the audience as opposed to talking about things that affect our lives, like politics and what is going on in the country, the crime situation, and so forth like that. But, so, I'm not seeing anybody jumping in. People are watching, but, and does anybody have any contribution to make towards this? Three, two, one. Right, so people are watching, trying to figure out what this sex experiment is about. But basically, it is to show that using the word sex really does appeal to more people than using the word discussion or using the word what was it yesterday? Change. Being an agent of change was the topic yesterday. And now that the topic is sex experiment, it's driving a little more audience because of that. So what does that say? And I think we have to answer that for ourselves. But anyway, let me just say good night to everybody. Not really though. Why you say that, Chance? Because, I mean, 3 days and the viewership is different based on that. And in terms of different people looking on and so forth. As well as I said, what we share as well is either sexually charged, what we share on Facebook is either sexually charged, violence charged, or anything like that. And we don't normally share things that are important, or if we share things that are important, because I've shared a few things that I think are important, but certain things would get a lot of likes while others won't, or certain things would be shared a lot while others won't. And that just goes to what our personal beliefs or personal interests are and so forth. And of course, marketers and advertisers do the same thing. They check to see what we like and use that to help market whatever it is. And it just makes it look like, you know, we are shallow beings who are only interested in sex or things that are gory sometimes or other things like that. And so we have, well, you decide what we have. But yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Anthony Castillo says people are more interested in what can happen in the bedroom than what is more important. Well, yes, that is true. What is more important? I mean, we are, and this allows me to draw in some, is an opportunity for me to draw in some information on other things. For example, we are basically a happy society. There's so many things going on. The unemployment rate is ridiculously high, even though it's masked at less than 5%. The number of people that apply for jobs, even to propitious TNT, is a lot. So, and we're hearing talk about retrenchments and layoffs and those kinds of things. And the price of, or the cost of living is extremely high. And people just murmur about it, and that's it. But somebody's caught with their pants down, or somebody's fighting, that's what we share, that's what we talk about, that's what we get mad about, you know. But we don't take time to invest our opinions and share on what's really affecting us. But we'll take time to look because sex sells, or something like that would be of more interest to us, so we would have some measure of discomfort with something that are along those lines than other things that are really affecting our lives. Some of us don't vote, but then are upset when some other person wins or something like that, or some of us are going along party lines where that does not help either, as opposed to voting for representation or people who actually would do the work. But then we complain every cycle about corruption, about the things that people do. We are partly to blame because we help put certain people there, you know. Anyway, that's about it. Unless anybody else has anything to say, that's about it for me. So I just wanted to use the opportunity just to summarize that we really have, right, look what the Express did yesterday, exactly. Right, so the picture on the front page or whatever, that sells, so more papers would have sold. You know, It definitely does. So that let us use this opportunity to think about what we share, what we believe in, what we value, and what we do in response to those values that we hold dear that we may not express on a regular basis. Let us consider that, yes, let us, yes, Giselle, let us consider that, it is beyond the frivolous things or frivolous things that we should share on Facebook and so forth. When we see something wrong, we say something, yes. But share positive things as well. That's the other thing. In the news cycle and in our daily lives, we focus on the negatives, we don't focus on the positives. Trinidad is not perfect, but there are good things going on. So all those things are in a culture that we have that really promotes negative things, but we are beyond those negative things if we work on it, actually. So sorry for the misleading title, but it really was an experiment in branding per se of an event, so that yeah, that's good that Giselle did that. Yeah, so that it really shows us whoever watches is guilty of that, because we realize that it piqued our attention because of the word sex being in it, and that's how it is. Just let us understand that we need to share positive things, we need to talk about positive things. And anybody else has anything to say about this? Oh, everybody's messaging me privately now. But now it's a bad time to message me privately. But yes, that's about it. I hope we learned something from this, and you can feel free to add comments after I sign off. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Adios.